So a lot at stake, a lot. Driven deep to right field. Fair ball, it's tied.
The tying run scores for Baltimore. On the left, Cuervo comes to the plate. He scores! And the Baltimore Orioles stun the Boston Red Sox.
That one's drilled deep to left field. Home run! A home run! The Rays are going to the playoffs.
That was one of the wildest finishes to a season and one of the wildest nights ever in baseball. But those are not numbers. Those are words. We need the numbers to back it all up. It's baseball. Randy Robles, Canadian guy working for the world's premier stats group, the Elias Sports Bureau. Can you quantify the rarity?
Absolutely, Michael. We live for doing things like that. We can definitely quantify how rare that was.
And better still, take us into a casino and tell us what we would have made should we have gambled. Okay, let's go back to Wednesday night and point out just how rare it was.
Okay, so let's look specifically, turning back the clock at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At that time, you had the Red Sox leading in a rain delay, bottom of the 7th inning. You also had Tampa Bay trailing 7-0 to the Yankees in the 8th inning. So at that time, the odds of Tampa Bay coming back to win that game, as well as Boston losing that game, were 11,000 to 1 at that point in time. So in other words, if you had walked into a casino in Las Vegas at that point in time and said, I want Tampa Bay to $100 on Tampa Bay to win and Boston to lose, you would have walked out with $1.1 million.
Now, you're a math whiz, so I'm thinking you wouldn't have walked out with $1.1 million. You would have gone to a blackjack table, card counted, and doubled your money.
Triple.
Okay, let me throw some fast questions at you. St. Louis and Tampa clinched postseason berth last day of the regular season. Is that a good thing heading into the postseason?
It's actually a bad omen. Since 1995, when they expanded the playoffs, there have been 21 teams that have clinched on the last day of the regular season. Of those 21 teams, only 2 won the World Series.
How about the New York Yankees? 4-game losing streak. Does that make any difference at all?
Ironically, it's a good omen. They are the 9th team to go into a playoffs on a 4-game losing streak or longer. Of the previous 8, 5 went to the World Series, 3 won the World Series, including those Yankees in 2000.
See, what I need to do is I need to have you in my ear if I'm having a sports argument. So let's say I'm in a bar and I'm arguing. I say Jose Bautista should be the MVP. What are you going to tell me in my ear to bolster that claim?
Well, there's no question he should be the MVP, and I'll tell you one stat that I love and I think is the conclusive evidence. The Toronto Blue Jays in 2011 became the first team in Major League Baseball history to have a 500 or better record despite only having 2 pitchers with 7 or more wins. In other words, without Jose Bautista there, they're lucky to win maybe 70 games this year. So incredible job by him.
So you throw out statistics. I mean, in your office, you must have like piles and piles and like all over the place. How do you define what's a good statistic?
A good statistic is a lot like a good joke. A good joke typically is very brief, it's very repeatable, and it's also somewhat surprising. And I think the same thing can be said about a good statistic. You want to go back after you hear a good joke and repeat it to your friends and to your coworkers. Same thing with a good stat. You want to go back and tell your friends, tell your coworkers. The difference is with a good joke, you want to sound funny. And with a good statistic, you want to go back and sound informed.
Okay, so you throw out a couple of good statistics, and I'll tell you whether I think they're good stats.
You're going to judge?
Nobody else is here, so yeah, I'm going to do it.
Okay, so let's look at the NFL. The Buffalo Bills have become the first team in NFL history to win consecutive games and come back from 18 points in both games.
Wow, give me another one. Okay, I'll say that's a good stat. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay. Let's look at baseball. With the collapse of the Red Sox, all you need to know is this. The Red Sox, in September, their starting rotation had a combined ERA of 7.08. That is the highest ERA in the history for any month for the Boston Red Sox.
Man, that is a great stat. I'll give you full marks on that. So ask me, tell me to give you a couple of good stats, and then you tell me yes or no. We only got 30 seconds.
Okay, give me a stat.
Johnny Damon has more hits than Ted Williams. Good stat?
That is amazing, yes.
Cole Hamels averaged more strikeouts per inning than Roger Clemens.
I give that a B+.
Bernie Williams has a higher slugging percentage than Roberto Clemente.
That's an A.
Harold Baines, more RBIs than Joe DiMaggio.
That's an A+. I love it.
You're an A+. I obviously got those from someplace else. The difference between you and I is you figure them out and I take someone else's. Randy Robles, thanks for giving us the numbers behind that big night.
My pleasure.
Up next.